During this presentation, there will be pauses in between frames. The pauses will vary in length, 3 to 5 seconds on average. Thank you for your patience. Natural law, the key to unlocking freedom and the preservation of Earth's life support systems. This video tutorial series is narrated by Bill Hoy. That's me. That's a picture of me there. My website is naturallawwithbillhoy.com. And as you can see in the center, I have a lock with a key in it. The key is natural law. The lock is freedom and the preservation of our life support systems. And that lock is not opening. Key's trying to turn, lock's not opening. And that's because on the right here, we don't have the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. We humans, we don't have the knowledge. We don't have the correct information. We don't have the understanding of the function and the meaning of that information. And then we don't apply the information and the understanding of the meaning and function to our behaviors and get wisdom. This is the true learning process. The trivium and the understanding that we humans have free will and there are objective laws of objective morality. And I'm going to talk about in this video objective morality. This video is a follow-up to the introduction to objective morality, and this is going to be a tutorial series, and the title of the tutorial series is going to be Objective Morality, the Only Solution. And let me get to what the series episodes are going to be about. I'd say the contents. So here we go. Got origin of objective morals, human nature, and objective morals in action. So let's get started to the first tutorial video. Many people have said to me that it is pointless to try to teach an objective moral standard to the masses. Humans will never want to align their behaviors with an objective standard of morality. They are probably right. I am trying to be optimistic. However, the reason for this is that everyone is waiting for someone else to take the lead. They are waiting for a savior. Most Americans, I'll speak for Americans, still think that getting the right person in the U.S. presidency is the answer. The problem with this is no matter what happens in the geopolitical sphere, humans must begin to know, understand, and align with a universal standard of morality. There's that know, understand, and align. That's a trivium. I understand it is the highly improbable way. However, it is the only way. Yeah, that's rough. This is not my opinion. If you begin to study natural laws of behavior, you will see this is true. Unfortunately, we humans, especially Americans, I'm an American, I mentioned that, have allowed tyranny to flourish for so long. Reversing this trend will not be easy, but I still think it is possible. Teaching universal morality to the masses is the only real lasting solution. All right. Only went over this in the introduction to objective morality video. And I'll start with the top here. Definition of natural law. A body of law or a specific principle held to be derived from nature and binding upon human society in the absence of or in addition to positive law. And that's from Webster's Dictionary. And like I defined it in the introduction. Basically, it's laws that are inherent and universal, non-man-made, and they are binding upon humans. And whatever we humans do, our behaviors are dictated, the results of our behaviors are dictated by these laws. Okay, next. Postmodernist materialism. What's my take on postmodernist materialism? Humans are not bound by a universal system of moral laws. Survival of the fittest and most ruthless is the key to life. Objective morality does not exist. So, let me go down to a very, I guess, in academia, this man is popular postmodernist materialist, Richard Dawkins, and he has a quote. I'll read it. The universe we observe has precisely the properties we should expect if there is at bottom no design, no purpose, no evil, no good, nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. And you know, it's one thing to think there's no design or purpose. It's a whole nother matter to think that there's no evil and no good. Okay? There's no evil, huh, Mr. Dawkins? All the horrors we have in our world, that's not evil. The wars, the genocides, child sex trafficking, it's awful. I'd say there absolutely is evil. And basically it's, well, don't worry, there's no evil, no good. Everything's purposeless, neutral. Do whatever you want. Wrong, Mr. Dawkins. Let's continue. All right, this quote here is from Signature in a Cell by Stephen C. Meyer. I went over this in the introductory video. I went over the whole quote that I felt was pertinent from page 449 of Signature in a Cell, but I italicized this here because it's very important. And once again, this is from Signature in a Cell by Stephen C. Meyer, page 449. Though this view of existence, materialism, I added that, proved initially liberating in that it released humans from any sense of obligation to an externally imposed system of morality, it is also proven profoundly and literally dispiriting. There's that trade-off. There's that trade-off. We humans want to think and live our lives like there's no external laws of morality that give us the results of our behaviors, no matter what we want to call our behaviors or think of our behaviors. Well, that's gonna give us complete lack of spirit. It's going to just it's going to make us purposeless. It's going to just completely dispirit us, I guess. That's the results. And I'm going to get deep into the specifics of the results, but this is a very important quote because this is, people just want to latch on to that postmodernist materialism because they think it absolves them from obligation to an externally imposed system of morality. But they don't realize that completely takes our spirit from us. It destroys our consciousness, and it's going to lead to human extinction, and probably we humans are going to take all life on this planet with us. So where does objective morality come from? I went over this in the introductory video. Go over it again. Based on what I know, intelligence is the creator of complex information that has function and meaning. There is evidence in the information contained in the structure of DNA that free will choices had to have been made in order to create the functional sequences of amino acid and protein molecules that are a part of complex life forms. We can observe that intelligent minds process and formulate complex information that has various functions and multiple meanings. Chance theories of the creation of complex information do not stand up to the scrutiny of probabilistic resources available in the time of the existence of the universe, and creation cannot be faster than the speed of light. The redundancy of law-like forces and chemical affinity are not the best explanations for the creation of complex sequences of information present in human and animal DNA, all living things. The best explanation, not my opinion, of all origin of life theories is intelligent involvement in creation. Based on data acquired on the lifespan of the universe and Earth, this intelligence that created the information in DNA could not have been a terrestrial entity. That's what I think. There must be some kind of intelligence that is more powerful than humans. Humans are bound by its physical laws. Laws do play a major part in the existence of the universe and life. Prior to the proliferation of neo-Darwinism and postmodernism, science and the understanding of the existence of an omnipresent creative intelligence were coming together in the 17th century. Isaac Newton, in his book, The Principia, talked about how science was a method to understanding what is God. Many people think that the battle between the established non-secular religions, like the Vatican, and scientists like Galileo, Newton, and Copernicus was over the religion versus science battle that we know of in the modern era. The Roman popes were not just against the science as we understand it today, the materialist science. The popes were against people using the objective observance and discovery, real science, of physical laws in order to get an understanding of what exactly this omnipresent consciousness is. Gravity is the effect. What is the cause? I think the cause is an intelligence. All right. Moving on. Okay. Cause and effect. Every effect has a cause. Physical laws govern the results of various phenomena in our universe. If a person jumps off of a 40-story building without a propulsion device, they will fall to the ground and die. The law of gravity governs the results of the merging of distances between objects due to their size and locations. Human behaviors will cause results in the physical realm. When a human throws a baseball, this creates a result of the ball traveling a certain distance, encountering resistance, and coming into physical contact with whatever is in the path of the ball. If nothing is in the path, the ball will descend towards the center of the earth. If the ball comes into contact with a sentient being, a human or animal that has the ability to feel pain and exhibit an emotional response, that's what a sentient being is, that being will suffer in some way, especially if the ball is traveling at a high rate of speed and the being is not wearing protection. Physical laws have results. The results of these laws can be the suffering of sentient beings. When a boulder falls off of a cliff and breaks apart on the surface below, no sentient beings in the area, there is not going to be any suffering in the form of physical or emotional. When a person uses force with some type of blunt object, and the blunt object then strikes another person, the person who has been struck will suffer. If 3 people throw baseballs towards 3 people and the baseballs hit each person, this will cause suffering multiplied by 3. As the number of people throwing baseballs at people increases, the suffering will start to multiply into larger numbers. When people begin to condone the behaviors of the people who are throwing the baseballs at others, Accepting the behaviors of the baseball throwers as necessary, the behaviors and the suffering will escalate exponentially. Now the baseball throwers can throw baseballs at more people. The throwers will know that large numbers of people will not hold them accountable for their behaviors. The potential for exponential suffering increases when the people condoning the behaviors think that the victims are not supposed to fight back. Physical laws will govern the cause and effect of the force of the baseballs and the suffering due to the lack of resistance forced by the other people supporting the baseball throwers. Without the resistance, the behaviors may continue exponentially. The behaviors may include other implementations of physical force and coercion, hence increasing exponentially. All of this is observable and discoverable. Laws may vary over time and in vast open space, but the causes and effects are permanently intertwined. That's a lot there, but I'm going to be breaking this down as best I can in this video and more videos to come. But you can always look into this stuff for yourself. Observe and discover, man. So, this is from Lysander Spooner's The Unconstitutionality of Slavery. I suggest you read that. These are some quotes from that book. Here's number one, a quote. Law is an intelligible principle of right necessarily resulting from the nature in man, and not an arbitrary rule that can be established by mere will, numbers, or power. Number two, quote, from Lysander Spooner, the true and general meaning of it, law, I put that in there, is that natural, permanent, unalterable principle which governs any particular thing or class of things. Number three, from Spooner, quote, if it were changeable, partial, or arbitrary, it would be no law. Number four, from Spooner, thus we speak of physical laws, of the laws, for instance, that govern the solar system, the laws of motion, the laws of gravitation, the laws of light, etc. And number five, from Spooner, I, that's Spooner, shall define it, I put in there behavioral law, to be simply the rule, principle, obligation, or requirement of natural justice. And that's a must-read right there. Lysander Spooner's The Unconstitutionality of Slavery. He's got some good ones.